Hey guys, this is logs day 3. So for day 3, they're asking you to use a calculator to find the values of these logs. So before we were switching between logs and exponentials, then we were rewriting to find the value for the log for x using logs, and then today we're going to be using a calculator to plug in. So if you have your own calculator, you can obviously use that. You can use the one on your phone, but I'm not going to recommend that you use that. So I'm going to show you guys a way to get to a great scientific calculator that's similar to the ones that we had in class. So right here, this is on the Clever page. So you can go to specifically to my page. And then in there, I've posted the Desmos Scientific Calculator. So this is the one that you guys have seen me use in class. This is the graphing calculator, but we're gonna do the scientific calculator. So then it pops up just like this. You have a nice screen here. There's your exponents, your squaring, your square roots, your trig functions. If you hit the ABC button, it brings you to a keyboard. And then if you hit the function button, this is the one that we're going to be using. It has the natural logs ln, and then it has just the common logs as well. So you'll notice that these don't have bases with them. You can't plug in for a base. So for questions that have a base, you're going to have to solve those differently. So for question 1, it was the natural log of 67. So we just type in ln, because that's natural log, and then we type in 67 and we close our parentheses. Your answer is going to show up over here, and you just hit enter, and there's our answer right there. So I'm going to ask you guys to round to the nearest thousandth, and that's 3 decimal places. So our answer is going to be 4.205, because that's going to round up. Okay, and it's as simple as that. You're just plugging it in and you're figuring out what the answer is. So for the next question, question number 2 was log of 24. So this is our common log. So it's the LOG button, and it's 24. Close your parentheses, hit enter. There's your answer. So it's 1.380. Okay, so I want to show you guys too, if you use the wrong button, it's going to give you a different answer. So make sure you're paying attention to which log you're using, because if I'm doing a common log, LOG log, it's giving me 1.380. If I use the natural log, it's going to give me 3.178. So make sure you're paying attention to which one it is asking you for. Okay, so for question number 3, I gave you guys the log base 2 of 1/8. For this one, it has a different base here. It's got a base of 2, and you can't do that in a calculator. So we're going to figure out how we can plug this in later on, but using the skills that we learned from yesterday, if we set this equal to x, I can then just do the same thing that I did before. So I can do, rewrite it, 2 to the x equals 1/8, okay, just by swapping. So I take my base and I swap these 2 numbers, okay? So I rewrote it as an exponential. And because this is equal to a fraction, I know that my exponent has to be negative, because whenever we have a whole number turning into a fraction, it has to be a negative exponent. And then I'm just figuring out, okay, what exponent is going to get me from 2 to the 8? So 2 squared is 4, 2 cubed is 8. So my answer here is just going to be -3, because to get from 2 to 8, it's 2 cubed. And because it's a fraction, it's going to be negative. So for this one, you can't type this into the calculator, because if you remember when we were looking at that screen, the log didn't have a spot to put a base in. It just has a spot to put like the larger number in. So you can't plug this one into the calculator. So I want you guys to be careful of that too. Like, you're not just doing log 2 times 1/8. This is not something that you can type into the calculator. Okay, so now we're going to go to question number 4, natural log of e to the 15th. So this one I wanted to show you guys because it's a little different, that you're typing in an exponent into a natural log. So you can click this button, or you can even just type into it ln, and it'll pop up there. And then I have my parenthesis. Then we have e, and it automatically brings me into the exponent, and then I can go over, close it, and my answer is just 15. Okay. So be really careful when you're using the calculator. Make sure that you are using it correctly. When you are typing into the calculator, make sure you are using the right button. Are you using ln, natural log, or are you using log, just the regular log? Okay, so be careful with that. Also, be careful with what you are and are not allowed to plug into the calculator. So like number 2, perfectly okay to put in the calculator. Number 3, you can't do that because it has a different base. Number 4, that one's also fine because there is no little base here. So if you see that little number, you cannot plug that into the calculator. Okay, so make sure you check out the homework. It's very similar to these questions. And then I will see you guys for day 4.